Now, you could lose a hand. Let's say you lose 5 fingers.
Okay.
Okay. The odds of getting $10 million for losing 5 fingers is almost impossible.
Why? I lost a whole hand.
Because people do not value it the same way.
Huh.
But for some reason, your feelings have a huge amount of value now.
So my feelings will cost someone more than my actual physical appendage.
But it's also dependent on what state you're in. Now, people hear these verdicts and they don't get it.
Okay.
Well, it's pretty simple. It works like this. Welcome back to Under Oath. New year.
New me.
New show.
Yes. I like it. I like it a lot, man.
I'm enjoying this.
Gotcha.
You know, and you are just going to try to trump me. You're just going to try to give me, okay, we know what Trump means outside of a person, right?
That's funny you said that, sir. No pun intended. Hey, I like doing this because we get to argue the law. Now, one of us is an expert when it comes to the legal system, and the other person is you.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like that. Somebody asked me what the benefit of being licensed in 18 states were. And I said, well, I took the bar so many times, it was like going to law school 8 times.
Oh, my God.
So I do know a little bit about a lot, but you know what?
What?
I can be wrong.
You can be wrong.
You know how I know I'm wrong?
How?
Because I read all the comments.
They agree with James. That's right.
Yeah,
yes.
Sometimes they agree with James.
They do.
All right, so what are we looking at?
All right. Legally screwed, my friend. Now, this is a good one. I really like this one. Now, 3 weeks ago, a drunk driver crashed into multiple cars on my street and then fired 2 shots.
Pulled out a gun.
Yes.
Okay.
Pop, pop. Now, one hit my car.
We call it a pew-pew.
Okay. That's what you do in court? It's pew-pew?
No, that's what we do on the internet. We can't call them guns. We got to call them pew-pews.
Pew-pews. That's correct. Now, he fired 2 shots. Now, one hit my car and the other hit my house near where my baby was. Now, the whole event was terrifying, and now my family is too scared to stay at our home. Now, can I sue this guy for damages and the trauma that it caused us? And what kind of lawyer will handle this?
There's a lot going into this.
This is crazy.
First off, we know there's going to be a criminal case.
Okay. First off, move.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it wasn't your fault. Somebody just drove this way.
Gotcha.
The first issue is going to be the criminal case.
Okay.
Of course, the police are going to get involved, and you're going to be a witness in that case. Most likely, they're going to charge this guy with drunk driving, which caused an accident. Depending on what state you're in, the drunk driving laws are different everywhere you go. But it's probably going to wind up to be a misdemeanor or a felony. Second issue is he pulled a gun out. That means the unlawful firing of a weapon.
Okay.
That he tried to shoot it at you, that's attempted murder.
Okay.
And that the gun might have killed somebody else, then you have another potential.
Heaven forbid, yes.
Yes. So you have a bunch of criminal issues involved. Now, what happens in criminal cases sometimes is part of the final sentence and the finding is what they call damages.
Okay.
And they get personal damages, like you might get some damages from that, some money from that, but not a lot. And the odds of that money ever coming back are like 0.
Oh.
All right. Very rarely do you get paid from the criminal courts from these things. Even if the guy says, hey, you're going to have to pay him $1,000. I mean, if he doesn't have it, he doesn't have it.
Yeah, he's not going to give it to you.
Okay. Now, this was a DUI accident. You were in your car. So the first part about that is you're talking about, damages from your car. Will your car be fixed? And you and I both know that if he had insurance,
yes,
most likely you'll be covered.
Gotcha.
But you know what happens if he doesn't have insurance? You tell me.
I get nothing.
Well, they'll fix the car, but what?
I have to pay for it.
The deductible.
I'm on the hook for it. Yes.
Yeah. What's your deductible?
$250.
Okay, so that's actually pretty good.
I know, but I have to pay a lot on the back end with insurance so I can get a deductible that low.
Now, there are listeners right now who aren't sure. They go, well, I pay a lot less for my insurance.
Yes, you
but
do.
I have $1,000 deductible.
Yes, you do, yes.
Now, ask yourself this question. What's the odds of you getting in an accident or somebody else hitting you in 5 years?
Are we in Florida?
Yeah.
Pretty damn good.
Okay, so let's say once every 3 years.
Yes.
So do the math, people. You're saving $750 or whatever you're saving. Do the math out of $1,000 compared to $250. And sometimes you'll realize that you should have paid that up front.
I say that all the time.
All right.
You can save a little bit of money on your insurance, yes, and get a huge deductible. Why not just pay it all up front? Because here's what will happen. You'll get in an accident and you'll kick yourself saying, I should have just paid for more insurance.
Yeah, that's the hard part. And you as a regular person, you're going to $250 was worth it, even though, how much do you think you pay more?
What do you mean?
Compared to $200 a year?
Yeah.
See, the math is with you.
Yes.
Okay, so I know it's tough, but do that. Now, let's say he does have insurance. Let's go with that. then they'll pay for the damages of the car. But here's the bad part about it. Were there any physical damages? And I didn't read any here.
No. What I read, there's no physical damage. It almost hit where his baby was, and nothing happened to the baby. But I think what they're asking also is the trauma. We hear that a lot when it comes to you suing people.
Emotional damages.
Emotional damages. Who would he sue? The guy himself? Like,
well, your car insurance is not going to pay for emotional damages because of the pew-pew.
Okay.
Okay? Because this guy tried to unalive you.
Yes.
We have to use those words now, but that's
unalive. Yeah.
I have to unalive you. That the car insurance isn't going to cover it because they're not going to cover a criminal act.
No.
Okay? And that's the hard part about it. Now, could you sue him directly? Yes. You have a lawsuit against him.
Yeah.
And you could include that in your claim against it.
Yeah.
So what'll happen is that when you do hire an attorney, they ask who you hire. You're going to hire a personal injury attorney.
Gotcha.
An accident attorney. Now, some people don't get it when you say personal injury.
Okay.
Well,
no one got hurt.
Yeah.
They're thinking.
So in this situation, the hard part, and people talk about emotional damages. For you to get emotional damages in most states, you have to go to a psychiatrist.
Okay.
You have to show that you were damaged, which means did I get therapy? Not, oh, my feelings are hurt.
Oh, so I just can't say I have emotional damages and then they're like, okay.
You have to prove it.
You have to prove it by going to a real psychiatrist.
You have to prove it. And the sad part about it is that, yes, it can't exist. You almost killed my baby. But I'm going to give you the bad news.
Uh-oh.
In most states,
yeah,
you're not going to be able to collect.
Why?
Because there's no insurance.
Oh, you're saying because it's not something that happened with a car and it's not a car accident, where do you go to get emotional damages from a person?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Now, there are different courts that see things differently, especially different states. You know the Alex Jones case.
I remember this.
Where the Sandy Hook families, he said, basically it was a false flag and the parents sued for defamation. Now, people don't know what that means. That means he lied about a situation and it damaged them.
Got it.
That's spoken word. You know, there's libel and slander. Libel is written, slander is spoken, but I think he did both.
I think so.
And he wound up in multiple courts just paying
like everybody sued him.
Millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And the issue was did all of them suffer emotional damages, you know, on a certain level? Well, the original damages were actual damages of like 4.1. And then the punitive damages, which is punitive also sounds like punishment. So if you want to say punitive, imagine the word punishment.
Okay.
So he was punished for saying something. So that's not the actual damages. That's like we are punishing you on top of the actual damages.
And it just kept piling on for this guy. It's like almost $1 billion or something.
Yeah. It's the idea behind it is, and President Trump got hit with that too in New York. Well, they said he slandered her by saying it never happened. So, you know, that was millions on millions.
Gotcha.
And it's a very strange world we live in now.
Okay.
Because I do a lot of injury cases. Now, you could lose a hand. Let's say you lose 5 fingers.
Okay.
Okay. The odds of getting $10 million for losing 5 fingers is almost impossible.
Why? I lost a whole hand.
Because people do not value it the same way.
Huh.
But for some reason, your feelings have a huge amount of value now.
So my feelings will cost someone more than my actual physical appendage.
But it's also dependent on what state you're in. Now, people hear these verdicts and they don't get it.
Okay.
Well, it's pretty simple. It works like this. If your jury hates the defendant, they're gonna give a lot of money.
Gotcha. Blank check almost.
Blank check.
Yeah.
And this happens with corporations. And let's just call them political figures.
Okay.
If I hate this guy, I'm going to give you $50 billion.
Got it.
Just a stupid figure like that.
Got it.
And there are people who are going to listen to me and say, Jeff, you're an attorney. I am an attorney. And I handle things all over the country. I try cases in Tennessee, Texas, Massachusetts, all over. And the city you're in.
It matters.
It matters. Even a simple car accident, you could talk about the same injuries, the same feelings, the same everything. And one city will give you nothing. And another city will give you 10 million.
Gotcha.
So the issue is always the same. You know, the accident's the same, but the feelings of the jury changes.
Makes sense. But do you think that's actually fair?
No, as an attorney, I think it's not fair.
Okay.
It's not fair if you can be in the same accident and not being taken care of. And I'm not going to rip on a certain state, but there are states that are absolutely unfair to accident victims.
Okay.
And some of your southern states, for example, and I'm going to say this, and some people from Tennessee might be upset with me, but Tennessee juries tend not to feel for people who are in accidents.
Why?
It's the walk it off state.
Okay.
They think, oh, well, the idea is that attorneys who represent these people are shysters and everything else like that, and they don't care as much. A California jury will give you a lot of money and maybe excessive amount. And there has to be something in the middle.
Gotcha.
And what I've discovered is I would say Florida juries.
Okay.
And a lot of people might be upset with me when I say this because they have certain feelings about Florida. But Florida is pretty average when it comes to verdicts.
Even keel.
Yeah, they're pretty fair.
Okay.
They're never going to give you a stupid amount of money for an accident.
That's not going to happen here?
No.
Got it.
Now, what does happen here, and people go, well, what about that verdict in the case where the kid got hurt on the ride?
Yeah.
Well, they got that money because no defendant showed up. And when you ask for $1 billion and nobody argues why they shouldn't get it,
you get it.
You get it.
Got it.
So that's the way it works sometimes.
Gotcha. So I've learned some stuff today. I had no idea that my emotions and my stress that I feel, my emotional damages are worth more than me losing an appendage.
Sometimes. Depends on your jury and your state.
Gotcha. Now,
but you will have to show that you did suffer these damages.
Well, now I know. Now I'm going to file my suit against Alex Jones because he said that I was fat. So, and I feel hurt. Okay.
Well, there's a defense to slander. That might be the truth.
Don't you laugh, Jeff. This is serious.
Listen, I weigh 229. I'm nobody to talk.
It hurt.
But I'm working on my feelings. I'm working on my feelings.
Somebody get me a donut.
There we go.